Good evening, welcome to Trending at 10 p.m. I'm Vishnu Shom. She was called a slut, shamed and threatened simply because she appeared on a magazine cover breastfeeding a child. The model Gilu Joseph, who posed for a popular Malayalam magazine called Grihlakshmi, says she did it because she felt it's an important cause. And the Kerala High Court, which was petitioned by some people who said the picture was obscene, said, as beauty lies in the beholder's eyes, so does obscenity, perhaps. The High Court then went to throw out the petition. On the show tonight, the model Gilu Joseph on her sense of relief and vindication after the High Court judgment. But first, a quick look at some of the big stories we are tracking today. Some of the stories doing well on NDTV.com. First, the Union Home Ministry deploys teams of the National Security Guard, the NSG, in the Kashmir Valley. They'll be deputed in terror operations if required. At a key party meet, Mamata Banerjee hits out at the BJP but doesn't spare the Congress and the CPM either, clubbing them with the BJP and Maoists, calling them the darkness of society. A 33-year-old woman from Delhi died after falling into a 500-foot deep valley while taking a selfie at Mathiran, a popular hill station in Mumbai's neighbouring Raigad district. And a quick look now at some of the stories which are doing well on Twitter. Yoga for soldiers. Remember, today is International Yoga Day, and there are all sorts of images which have come throughout the day of Indian soldiers, Indian airmen and sailors participating in yoga, International Yoga Day. Well, we're going to quickly move on now to our big story. She was called a blue film star, slut-shamed and threatened because she appeared on a magazine cover breastfeeding a child. The model, Gilu Joseph, who posed for the popular Malayalam magazine called Grihlakshmi, says she did it because she felt it's an important cause, the cause being breastfeeding. We'll be joined by Gilu in a little while, but this is what the Kerala High Court had to say when a petition was filed saying the photograph of Gilu on the cover was obscene.
This cover of a popular Malayalam magazine showing a model breastfeeding an infant created such a storm that someone even petitioned the Kerala High Court, calling it obscene. But in a significant ruling, the court said, we do not see obscenity in the picture, nor do we find anything objectionable in the caption for men. Look at the picture like we look at paintings of artists like Raja Ravi Verma. As beauty lies in the beholder's eyes, so does obscenity, perhaps. The petition against the cover was filed by Felix M.A., a tailor, who said an unmarried model posing to breastfeed a child is morally degrading. Grihlakshmi has maintained that the picture was crucial to the subject of creating awareness about breastfeeding, and their hunt to get real breastfeeding mothers for the cover proved futile. 4 months since the cover release, 28-year-old model Gilu Joseph says she stands by her shoot.
There were labels indeed, and slut shaming, body shaming, everything was, every possible labels were there. But my mom had to face certain people, and they were saying that your daughter is this and that. Now things are fine, and I hope mentalities change.
At the core of all this lies two issues. One, about how breastfeeding is still seen as something that should be done indoors or in all wraps, and secondly about how slut shaming a woman you do not agree with is so easily acceptable. Sneha Koshi for NDTV.
Well, Gilu Joseph joins us now. Thanks, Gilu, very much for being with us. What was your reaction to the High Court judgment? Does it come as a huge vindication, a sense of relief?
I am extremely happy because I came to know about the entire thing from the media only, because no case was directed directly towards me. So yesterday randomly I came through the news bit, and I feel extremely happy because it's a great thing to know that there are a lot of people who support something for the right cause, and where there were a lot of people who turned against us for the same picture. There are also sensible people. I mean, I'm not complaining, but then there are a lot of people who want to support with their all intentions. So it was extremely happy news for all of us, you know.
What was the goal of this photo shoot that prompted you to have a baby on your breast?
For me, it was a very personal decision because I believe that for me, I am much more than my body. So showing a part of my body doesn't change a person in me. I am the same. I am still the same before and after the shoot. I am still smiling, I am still eating, I am still walking around as the same person. Nothing changed. So what is wrong in taking a picture for a noble cause or for a good cause, if at all it can change something? At least if it can change the mentality of 10 people in the society, which I think
what I'm
it's a
asking.
great thing. So why not?
What was the cause? What was the cause? Because this is key to this entire debate. To me, it doesn't seem like a debate as well, because the cause was essential.
The goal was like, you know, in olden times, females used to sit at home, they used to take care of the family, they used to take care of the kids, they feed their kids however they want, they're at home mostly. But these days, you know, females are getting out, they're doing their things, they're getting their things done, they go to schools, they go to work, they do their own things, they're making their own platforms in the society. So, and we are improving in terms of technology, we are improving in terms of everything, but you know, we are holding on to some taboos about our own body. You know, there are taboos about female body, like when these days rape victims are the victims and not the people who does the rape, you know, like they walk as normal people and the victims are always labeled as victims. So I have always made thoughts like this, and you know, Grihlakshmi came up with the campaign and they wanted to give more confidence for the feeding mothers, you know. So it was all about giving a message to the society that in case if you want to feed your kid in the public, and you know, don't feel ashamed about your own body. It's your body, it's your kid, it's an honor, it's a privilege to feed your kid. So it doesn't say that from tomorrow onwards mothers in Kerala has to sit like that and feed the kids. Never.
But tell us, Gilu, what exactly happened once the photograph appeared? How were you threatened? How were you labelled? What was the backlash?
Absolutely, they were labeling me, definitely, because you know, even my family, they had to go through a lot of bad labels, and you know, people were saying that, you know, I'm a blue film actress, and a lot of labels, but definitely it was not affecting me, because I am very confident about what I did, and I don't regret about it at all. So the labels are basically.
But where were these labels coming from? Was it from social media? The people saying all these things? How did that happen?
In definitely social media, there were a lot of trolls, you know, like people were forwarding in almost all the WhatsApp groups, like trolls saying that this and that, and you know, all the possible blames. But then, yeah, there were labels indeed, and you know, slut shaming, body shaming, every possible labels were there. But then,
outrageous, absolutely. Did people call you directly and threaten or shame you, or was it only on social media?
No. People did not approach me on my face, and no, I didn't. Luckily, I was not being threatened by anybody directly. But yes, my mom had to face certain people, and you know, they were saying that, you know, your daughter is this and that. That was the only thing that affected me a little bit. But now things are fine, and when the court also has said things, you know, court also has appreciated. I think things are getting much better, and I hope you know, mentalities change, everything change in our society except our mentality about certain things, and I think things are changing. You know, things are definitely changing.
Gilu, what do you think the intention of the petitioners was? Do they feel that they were genuinely aggrieved for some reason, or do you think it was publicity that they sought?
should be. I still don't know why somebody has to give a case like that, but actually right now we are all thankful to the person who actually filed the case, because he only gave the High Court an opportunity to appreciate us. More than anything else, this case made us happy, because we all respect the High Court, or when people like that who represent people, when sensible people talk like that, we are all surprised and so happily accepting the judgment.
So I'm reading the judgment, and the court has it's an incredible judgment where the court has absolutely categorically stated that you cannot just be shocked in your morals. These value systems keep changing, and they've gone into the history of something like this. They've gone into eroticism as well, and the definition of that. So the High Court has ruled very firmly in your defense. Does this give you the confidence to model in any which way you want going forward?
Yeah, but it is actually definitely a positive approach towards art, and feeling good about your own body, feeling divine about your own body. Our body should not be covered in shame and fear. Yeah, it's definitely a good approach towards art, and there is always art in whatever people shame. People make beautiful things out of it. So the judgment is actually definitely good. But that doesn't mean I am going to shoot from tomorrow onwards like that. But it is good for people who make beautiful art out of human body, or whatever it is. It might not be accepted. Art might not be always accepted with the same positive responses always. It always had backslashing, but then yeah, it's good for all the people who believe in good art.
Well, thank you, Gilu. I really appreciate the fact that you've chosen to come and speak to us, and congratulations on this vindication of the fact that what you did, absolutely nothing was wrong with us, with that. I'd like to move on now, and I'm joined by S.A. Devi. He is the lawyer for the petitioner in this case. Remember, the petition itself was thrown out in the court. I'm also joined by Anna Vetikad, the author. S.A. Devi, let me come to you first. Let me come to you first. Why exactly did you go around, with this petition in the first place? Why did you do that? Because to most people, there was nothing even remotely obscene about this photograph.
The entire community is against the exhibiting this kind of books in different shops, because it is they're tarnishing the entire men flock. Even the caption itself, it states that men folk stop gapping on feeding mother.
For the community? Who are you to speak for the community? Which community, sir?
Including the teenagers, because they are.
Teenagers shouldn't be aware that teenagers don't know about the breast of a woman, or how they themselves were fed at one stage in their lives.
Moreover, exposing a full breast of a lady, exposed with a child, and nowadays there are so many. Nobody is giving like breastfeeding even in train or any places,
so
even in mall or railway station or aerodromes or church or like any other places.
Which century do you live in? Which absurd patriarchal value system are you part of?
Yeah, value system, it is a God's own country. We have our own culture and custom.
Our own culture doesn't have breasts.
Our
own culture doesn't have eroticism. Our own culture doesn't have stamps which have been issued by the government of India in the past, which show women breastfeeding children.
Even in the judgment, it is stated that you see the picture of Raja Ravi Verma. It is not a picture of Raja Ravi Verma.
Why not? Have you not seen those paintings? Have you not seen paintings which depict the beauty of a woman who may be nude?
Different thing.
All right.
Painting,
Anna,
we cannot compare with the painting.
All right, Anna, why don't you come in now? That's the view. Apparently, this is not our culture. This is unacceptable. And the petitioner, the lawyer for the petitioner says he feels, he speaks for our society. How would you respond to this?
Well, first of all, of course, I think that the gentleman has absolutely no right to speak on behalf of, he says, the entire community. I'm not sure, I don't know whether he's referring to the people of Kerala or the people of India. But as much as Gilu Joseph had to face a lot of flack for this photo shoot, I would like to remind this gentleman that she also got a huge amount of support from liberals in Kerala who appreciated her for her courage in doing that photo shoot, knowing full well, I'm sure she must have known that there would be flack that she would face from conservatives. So I do not know which community the gentleman is speaking of, firstly. Secondly, Vishnu, you know what, this petition is just illustrative of a deep-seated resentment towards women, and that this is not just in India but across the world. Women's autonomy over their bodies, women's right to do what they please with their bodies so long as they're not causing harm to anybody else. You would have read, of course, of this senator from Australia who breastfed her child while discussing a motion in the Senate, in public, and she was lauded for it across the world because what she did was normalize something that should actually be normal. It's the most,
Kerala,
this is
we
ridiculous.
have our own values. We cannot compare with Australia or other European countries.
Never having had sex.
And we are following
Anna, 1 minute.
That a human being
Anna,
has
1
to
minute.
the body
Mr.
of
Devi,
a woman.
what
is the
values
child
are
being
you talking
breastfed.
about?
And
These
the
are not
fact
your
that the
values.
petitioner thought
We
this
are
was
all part of
morally
this country, sir.
degrading,
These values
when
are
in
alien to
fact-
anybody. They are alien. They are only your own values, sir. Please do not speak for others. And they are bizarre. We do not see, despite our best efforts, obscenity in the picture. Nor do we find anything objectionable in the caption for men. We looked at the picture with the same eyes we look at the paintings of artists like Raja Ravi Verma. And beauty lies in the beholder's eyes, so does obscenity perhaps.
And
This
there
is
were
what the
a lot
judgment
of
of the High
fatty
Court
after
is,
that
sir.
they have permitted to cover their breasts. And now we are now following a system against by showing this kind of photos and pictures, and this value must be completely diminished.